Oh, there you go. It's finally switched over to purple everything, right? I like it. Hey, what's up? John Charette here, and today we are reviewing a Gigabyte 3090 Vision OC. I know, it's a bit of an older card, but there's a good reason. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining. I like to review new tech. Now, as I said, this is a bit older with a release date of September 2020, but it's still considered quite a monster. So why am I reviewing it? Well, I want to find out if you could buy a used 3090 for similar less price than a 4070 or 4070 Ti and maybe even get the same performance. Let's find out. Now, I've reviewed a couple 4070 Ti, the Zotac Trinity OC, along with the MSI Gaming X Trio 4070 Ti. Now, both of those cards perform just slightly worse than a 3090 Ti, but I'd like to see how they compare to a 3090. Even more importantly is the 4070s came out last week, and I want to see how this guy compares. I have ordered a 4070 version of the MSI Gaming X Trio, and it'll arrive next week. Now, if you've been following the 4070 releases, you know that it's pretty much on par with the 3080 as far as speeds. But the 3080 was a little bit more expensive when we're talking retail price. And 3090 is a completely different ballpark, but in the used market, that's what I'm trying to compare here, a used 3090 against a 4070 or a 4070 Ti. So if you're like me, you probably have a budget when it comes to buying a video card. Where I'd like to figure out is where the 3090 could fit inside that budget. I mean, you look at a 4070, brand new, it's $600 to $700 USD, with a 4070 Ti at $800 to $900 USD. Here in Canada, you can get these 3090s for around $700 to $800 USD, so just slightly underneath what a 4070 Ti would be. Question is, how does it perform against the 4070 Ti? Is it slightly less performant? Let's find out. Now, let's take a look at the card itself. I really do enjoy this design. If you can't tell, it's white on top, a lovely purple kind of accent strip here that's a bit flashy. There you go. I wish it lit up. That would be my only suggestion. Now, the front actually isn't white. It's a chrome finish, but you really can't tell. It kind of has a mixed metals look. It's a 2.5 card slot with two 8-pin power connectors. Now, the two 8-pin power connectors is pretty interesting because if you have an older power supply or a smaller power supply, that could be great. Considering it's a 3090, most 3090s required 3. The Tough series for Asus, they were 2, and so the Gigabyte Vision is in that same category. Comparing it to the 4000 series of the 4070s, I have heard that some of the very small 4070s may even use one single 8-pin power connector. Cool. But I think most of them will use 2. In the 4070 Ti world, it's hit or miss. Some of them use 2, some of them use 3. With the Zotac Trinity OC version, it was 3, but the non-OC version of the Zotac Trinity, it used 2. The MSI Gaming X Trio had 2 8-pin power connectors, which I'm not surprised considering that the 4090 only used 3 8-pin power connectors in the Gaming X Trio line. If you are digging this video, hit the like button, and if you enjoy this channel, subscribe. I would say this card is perfect for an almost white build, similar to what I have here with this Corsair 5000X. The D would be very similar. Because it's mixed metals, it goes well with just the tad bit of gray, and then if you have some black, it's okay. If you are doing a full white build, I would still recommend an Asus Strix in all white. Now, size-wise, it's similar-ish to a 4070 Ti. Length-wise, it's a tiny little bit longer than the Zotac Trinity OC and a bit shorter than the MSI Gaming X Trio. Overall, yeah, very, very comparable in size. Now, the major difference that you will notice in a 3090 is it still has an NVLink port. Let's go right there. Yes, That allows you to connect more than one GPU together. Not super ideal for gamers, but considering that this is a workstation card, you can use it for 3D rendering in Blender or video editing, anything kind of workstation specific that can take advantage of one, the additional RAM that's on this card, the 24 gigs versus the 12 gigs that's sitting in both of the 4070s. All right, let's slap this back into the case so you can see it all connected size-wise, and I want to show you some of the lighting. Okay, so I mean, here it is. It fits extremely well. This is a mid-size case, no issues with distance. It's considering, comparing it to a 4080, 4090, it looks pretty small these days. But I think it's a pretty solid card. Like I say, mixed metals, looks all right. I think where this shines most, let me turn it on, is I decided because it had that purple accent on the front, here we go. So I asked everything, once everything kind of boots up, all the fans should change to a nice purple glow. I mean, a lot of you aren't into RGB. For me, I love it. It has a nice consistent look to it. And it just adds to the appeal. I mean, when I look at my computer, it just kind of makes me smile. Okay, let's talk performance of this card. Now, for gaming, here, you can check out the charts here. It's pretty much 15% behind a 4070 Ti. When it comes to workstation specific benchmarks, I did it with Blender and it was only about 10% behind, which, I mean, I can understand giving the extra RAM in the card. It is a workstation card. So this brings me back to the whole price per performance. Is it worth buying one? I mean, knowing that it performs 15% slower and the price is pretty much 15% lower, it kind of just sits itself in this weird spot between a 4070 and a 4070 Ti. Personally, I would recommend against buying a used 3090 unless you need the additional RAM and you're building a video editing system or something like that. But yeah, I would stay away. And here are actually the top 3 reasons why I think you should stay away. One, they're old cards. I mean, they were the first 3000 series card to come out, so they've been around a long time. Not saying that the cards you're gonna get, they have newer-ish 3090s if it's kind of the last run, but I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of warranty because of that, and it's just more wear and tear on the card. Secondly, the chances that it was mined on in the mining cryptocurrency craze that happened a couple years ago is extremely high. Not that that really makes a huge difference, and most of the time it hasn't affected performance all that much, but it is a lot of wear and tear on the fans and the VRAM on the GPU. And last but not least is the frame generation that you get on the 4000 series cards that you don't have on the 3000 series cards when it comes to DLSS 3.0. Now, I mean, it's pretty cool. I think I should actually do a separate video just on DLSS 3.0 and how cool it is, but it's a reason why, I mean, if you had the choice, stick with the 4000 series. So yeah, for all those reasons, I would definitely recommend sticking with a 4070 Ti over a 3090. You just get so many more advantages with the newer card, more warranty. It's a brand new card. I mean, yes, it's 15% more expensive, and that's where if you do have that budget, you could look at a 4070 instead. We'll look at that more in the next video. Oh, and then here are a few things that I just didn't like about this card specifically. Oh, there you go. It's finally switched over to purple everything, right? I like it. Anyway, when I've been using this as my daily driver for the past month or so, and it has green screened my computer 2 or 3 times. Looking back at the reliability monitor, it is definitely NVIDIA drivers that were causing the issue. Not sure if it was specific to the driver set I was using. I always have the latest greatest installed, or it was the card itself. And then the other thing that was interesting is that there's a noise when the fans, when the card's not being used, just in general, you know, surfing the internet, the fans stop. Very, very normal. But when the fans kick in, it makes a clunk, clunk, kind of a noise. Here, I captured it. So at first I couldn't figure out what it was, and I was like, what is happening? Now I almost don't even hear it anymore, but at the same time, it is a bit annoying. And last but not least, recently when the Diablo 4 beta came out, there was a huge issues with Gigabit Vision 3080 Ti cards. Now I know this is a 3090, but still, it had me super worried about the manufacturer's defects, how well this card was put together. I actually didn't do the beta because of it, and it's a bit worrisome. Given the kind of the green screens, I had this feeling this card's gonna die on me any day. Conclusion: don't buy this card. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks nice. If you had a smoking deal on it, for sure. But if you had the choice, absolutely, I would say recommend a 4070 or a 4070 Ti over this card. I have ordered a 4070 MSI Gaming X Trio. It should arrive tomorrow. So I'll do a review and kind of compare that. But yeah, I mean, I'd stay away from a 3090 if I were you, unless you absolutely need it. So that's my conclusion. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for the next video, and I'll see you next time.